We have our comic book review for obviously a story that I think every single fan has wanted for like ever, and that is Godzilla versus Cthulhu. We got a comic book for it. It's a tie-in comic book for the Cthulhu May Die.
Death May Die, yes.
Death May Die.
Tabletop game.
Tabletop game. I think do you still have the figure for that?
No, I got rid of it.
Yeah. I was more interested in the comic.
Yeah, I really wanted the comic.
I saw this cover and I was like, I need this.
There are like several different Godzilla game pieces for it, though. There's different statues. I think they did another expansion for the Death May Die, and they had them available on their site. They're probably still there. They're a bit pricey. Really cool comic. Really nice art.
Yeah, I wish this was more readily available as a comic book.
Yeah, we were like, this is when we talked about this. We were like, we should do it because it's such a cool matchup. But it's like the readers are gonna have a hard time finding. I really hope that they do like kind of like give it like a general like run in a year or two to kind of like be like, hey guys, here you go. You can buy it now. Buy this comic. I don't know what the rules are with that. But it was written by John Mayberry. Art by Bruno Abadias, colors by David Garcia Cruz. It was a really cool comic. We got to see, it was of course Godzilla vs. Cthulhu. There is a sequence in it where we do see some of the other kaiju from Toho. We see Rodan, Mothra, Baragon, Anguirus, and Ghidorah, of course. It takes place like post World War One-ish, or was it like World War One-ish? Is that what you got from this? What
yeah, it was so hard to. That was like a little.
The era was a little hard to.
I want to say it was probably post World War One because they were like working with like a Russian operative.
Yeah, and there's like
type of thing. Some of the story of this was a little questionable as far as like.
Yeah, it opened
the logic of it.
Yeah.
But they had to get to Godzilla fighting Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's basically what it came down to.
So, yeah, I gave it a pass because, I guess we'll get into the story a little bit here. But it's like this Russian operative that infiltrated like a prison because there's like a cult in this prison, and they find out. It opens up with him getting beat up, and then they find out that he's like a mole and everything like that. And they beat him up, stomp him out, and he's like, you're just a fake prophet and like all this stuff. But then he's in the nurse's office with his like contact, like his handler, and he's like, oh no, this is a real occult religion with a real god that they are going to summon. And I'm like, what? You just said this is all fake. And then he was like a crazy cult leader.
Yeah, and
it's only a cult if it's fake.
The only thing is
then
like
it's a real religion.
The only thing that I could think that like might give you like more of the backstory on the era, because a lot of these tabletop games and stuff sometimes they have like a companion book to like kind of
the companion book might have more like explanation
the
on
setting
there.
And everything. So that's what I'm thinking might be like the missing piece for us as just like an outsider reading it as a comic. But yeah, basically he was like an undercover agent in Deer Island Prison, which is in Boston Harbor. The cult in there, they're answering to Sathogua, I believe is the pronunciation.
Yeah,
some of these Lovecraftian names are very tricky to pronounce. That's like the deity that they answer to, who answers to Azathoth, who's the god of gods.
Which I guess Cthulhu serves.
Yeah, who Cthulhu is like his war machine. So they're answering to him, and the whole thing is they kind of have to summon. They're going to summon Cthulhu, and that they do, obviously.
Yeah, which is really awesome. I gotta say,
there's some great art.
An indie, like it's not indie, but like for like it's basically like an indie comic that got a Godzilla license, and the art is amazing.
Art is off the hook
on point of everything. The covers.
Yeah, I should have. Mine's like buried on the shelf. I should have took it out for this.
Like,
yeah, that spread was really badass. There's also cool. There's like a 2-page spread too, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of the earlier ones.
Let me just pull it up real quick. But I just want to get the art where like he's summoning Cthulhu. You
Oh
can
yeah.
see like the other god behind him.
Yes. Yeah.
That was super awesome. Cthulhu mimicking his hand movements.
Yeah.
For when he was summoned. Let me get the big spread over here. Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah. That is a badass
I'm
two-page
sorry,
spread.
it's like a $200 comic book. I'm just like flinging around. And then like the whole Toho. I can't believe they got all these characters in there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cthulhu in the story, once Godzilla kind of like wakes up and senses something's off in the sea, because Cthulhu is just feeding on the sea, so everything in the sea is just turning black and it's just dying and then rising. And Godzilla must sense it, and he like kind of like beelines it for Boston. He wakes up from his ocean slumber, and yeah, he beelines it for Cthulhu, and that's when they begin fighting. The military calls in. They're like, "Oh, let's get in our Atom Smasher ships." And I was like, "Oh, cool! Like, what kind of boat is this Atom Smasher ship?" But they're Zeppelins. They're like big Zeppelins with maser cannons mounted on them.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome too, because I was like, "Oh, those are maser cannons."
Yeah,
like without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%. It was really cool. And Cthulhu uses like this nightmare attack on Godzilla, and that's when we get to see those other kaiju. It's like he's like in like this like green nightmare mist, because he's like, what do they say? Like he like controls nightmares. Like he's like
yeah, and he like Godzilla gets like all scarred up, and like you think he's dead.
Yeah, because they hit both of them. They hit Godzilla and Cthulhu with these Atom Smasher cannons, and Godzilla goes down, and Cthulhu starts to walk away. He's unaffected by the cannons. But then, yeah, Godzilla goes down and it gets all scarred up, and then at that point, we got like burning Godzilla supercharged here.
It's like a scarred up, almost burning Godzilla. Like the scars. It's almost like what's red.
It's almost like the King of the 2018 King of the Monster Godzilla, like where he like re-entered the atmosphere with Mothra and was just like that. It's like what we got.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool little transformation. Defeats Cthulhu.
Like he just like one shots him with a red atomic blast, yeah.
And then like the god is like, well, you failed, so he kills the cult leader. I guess that was his price for failing. And then we just see Godzilla back in his like undersea lair, and he's just like standing there like all brawlic with like his scars on him, and that's the end of the story. Pretty quick story, obviously. Again, it's like a tie-in. It's like a 5-minute read. But it's such a good...
It's one of the...
I was blown away by the art.
It's one of the most visually appealing Godzilla comics I've seen in a while. It was a gorgeous comic.
I'm honestly surprised that like IDW didn't see this and go like, we gotta poach this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I really hope it does get like a mass print so that everybody could see this.
Yeah, like I'm not proud of the fact that this comic book is as expensive as it is, because honestly, like I said, it's a 5-minute read. I don't necessarily think it's worth the money that
I don't know how much they're charging for it now, but
I can't see it on eBay for less than $200.
It was worth what it was.
There's a couple that are like $180.
Like
everyone's trying to sell it with a statue.
Yeah, I sold the statue by itself because I was like, I don't need it, so I'm getting rid of it. I have no room for it.
No,
I wasn't gonna paint the game piece myself or anything, because it was just a plain. There's no colors. It's cool. It's a cool sculpt, but I don't plan on painting or anything. So I was like, all right.
I'm sure there's probably like a scan website somewhere that has it.
It was worth, the comic was worth what they were selling it for at San Diego Comic-Con. It's
yeah,
like what
and
it was
I
worth.
Feel like
you got the figure with it, and you got the comic. So
we said when this happened, like, pick it up. This is going to be a collector's item.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be the next Godzilla versus Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive for no reason. If you read Godzilla versus Charles Barkley, you know it's not worth 2 cents. Like, this is actually better than that. It's actually a very good story with very good art.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I if you can find a scan online or something.
Yeah. I thought the Maser Zeppelins was such a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Really recommend it. Yeah. I really can't say anything else about it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Godzilla won the fight because, you know, he's just like, he always wins. He finds a way.